Does it go out in the intro? I think it does. Great. Hello, Melbourne train guy, Lord Damp, AC, Mark B, and the Crazy Aussie Adventure, and Chucky. Gathering a few is good. How are people today? We'll see again. 6, 5. I should start the game. Shit. I haven't.
Shall we play a game?
Yes, the Dutchie did comment on the game. Let's just go live and pretend we planned this and it's fine. It's all good. I probably should have had this running. I don't have it running on the Xbox yet either. I'll be doing the second run on the Xbox. That's okay. Hopefully people are well. Oh, and I'm pushing out to the short stream as well. Don't want to do that today. That's okay. I have to say, boo ATM. Because ATM make the plugin that I use for the short stream, and it suddenly hooked itself up with something called Own 3D Pro, which is paid. So it's not going to last long, because at the end of this stream, I'm going to delete it. Hello, Dave Randall. We shall, real soon now, get into the game, which I probably should have started before I started the stream. But, you know, these things happen. Hello, Train Views. But we're all looking forward to a bit of dank, moist weather. Netherlands. I said Weatherlands. Oh, that's loud. I might want to just turn that down just a little bit, at least for me. I'll leave it turned up for you for now because the Koploper is not actually very loud. Not inside it anyway. All right, to the trains. What do you get with this one? Let's have a look. Let's start with the journeys at Zwolle Groningen. Netherlands Navigator. That's an imaginative new kid on the block. So it's, well, it's actually both trains. Okay. Next, and it must be the tutorials because I've done them. Next gen is start your journey as a new driver. So we've got a few services and a scenario. Sprint race. We've got 2 scenarios and a few services. So these are small journey chapters. I prefer small journey chapters myself. I should play more journeys actually because it's kind of cool, except when they screw up and you can't complete the journey, then it's a bit sad. So that's a few services and a surprise, a scenario, and that one's got coupling in it. In a material world. Oh, it's been a while since we've had that, hasn't it? Bring back the 80s. So we've got 4 services and a tutorial. Surprise! And the last one, old with the out, in with the new, which is probably a trip on the old one, the Koploper, followed by trips on the other one. But, you know, it's hard to tell. But I guess we'll find out. And retirement party. Oh, that's mean. Anyway, let's pop back out of the journeys. We know what's in the journeys now. What tutorials are they? There's a good idea. There is the Koploper, the ICM M3, and there's, well, the introduction and the tutorial. Did I only get a silver on the tutorial? Oh, it's a bit crap. And then there's the other one, which what they called the SNG or something. There it is. And that one gets the SNG and a tutorial for ATB. Now this, really good. Really worth having. And you've already seen it run on one of my videos if you've watched it. I should put on my live slide, shouldn't I? That'd be a good idea. Then my kids know I'm live. The intro is actually really, really good. So well worth playing through the intro probably a couple of times just to make sure you get it. They only use the SNG though. They don't use the Koploper, which is a bit sad. So I added the Koploper when I did mine. I started with theirs and then added the Koploper. Right, we've looked at journeys, we've looked at tutorials. We should probably get out of here and go and look at probably the route. Zwolle Groningen. So, free roam, yeah, good. Scenarios, Groningen Hero, rescue a failed train at Groningen and run its late running replacement service. Maintenance madness, drive this sprinter service while avoiding the railway maintenance that's taking place along the line. Double up, run this unique ICM sprinter service which runs as a single unit and doubles up on the way to Zwolle. ATB out. ATB is down between Harren and Groningen Europark, meaning trains are all driving at a reduced speed through the area. Well, if ATB is not watching, I'm not doing a reduced speed. And to be honest, this route takes long enough to get to the end. Retirement party, special service to commemorate the service life of the NS ICM 3. Actually, what I should do is let's whack in a quick poll, so you guys can do a choice. So, Koploper. Hang on, what shall we do? How do we make this work? I'm going to do the Koploper. Which one first? We'll say which one first. One first. PC. The other we'll do on Xbox. Okay, so I put Koploper and I put SNG 3, or as it really is, a Civity. All right, so we'll chuck that in there. You guys can choose while I finish going through the scenarios. Retirement party is a special service to commemorate the service life of the NS ICM M3, the Koploper. That's not my train. Drive this IC service aboard a replacement SNG 3. Doesn't that kind of sound like that one? Kind of does. That's okay. That's okay. Bert Gamers, hello. Hello, Joel. How are you? Just saying, Joel, that was me that timed you out this morning on Dovetail Stream. You got to hold it in sometimes, man. All right, so what are we going to do? We've got 50-50 so far with the which one do you want to see on PC and which one do you want to see on Xbox. So I need someone to break that tie. I mean, I can vote, but I don't really want to. Be good if someone did, because then we can choose which one are we going to run. But while we're doing that, we'll look at the services. So for the Koploper, it's 155 services. They range from the short shunty ones that go from yards into station, or maybe one station, or they go from a yard to into a station, or a station into a yard. And there's a bunch of long ones, usually about an hour, that run the full length of the route. It's very scenic, not my kind of route. I'm not really a linear end-to-end kind of person. I like a stopper. So the SNG is a little bit more my thing, but I do wish there was a few more stations on this route. I really do. So Groningen to Assen and various others. So ranging from 20 minutes, 7 minutes, a little bit over an hour. So it takes even longer to get to the other end on the SNG, which is funny because the SNG is faster than the Koploper. But anyway, we'll leave that alone. Now, there is, of course, the Vectron. Now, I'm of two minds with the Vectron. Well, I can show you its services. I'll show you that. So there's two. It's pretty good. The Kiesvolk on and depot. Excuse my Dutch, I'm crap. Amersfoort to Onen Depot. So there's a couple. They're both about an hour. They're more or less full runs, both of them. Almost the same too. Now, I'm not going to run this tonight because they haven't released it. And because DTG haven't shown it to anybody, I don't want to show it to you because I'll get my ass kicked. The shunter has a whole 3 services, and yes, the G6 is not authorized to run in the Netherlands. This is very true. It's representing another shunter that is allowed to run. It's running a 4-wheel version. 4 wheels per truck rather than 6 per truck. Looks like the Koploper on PC is going to win this, so we'll finish looking at the services. I think we just did. So it looks like we're starting the Koploper, which is pretty good. So I'll just catch up with the chat while we start a service. Let's pick something in the morning so it looks nice. And we will go in here. That's a bit early. You can tell I like morning ones, can't you? We'll do this one. Groningen to Den Haag Central, which is probably stopping nowhere and is probably not that exciting, but that's okay. We'll make it exciting with the chat. And we'll run driver mode, I think. We might do a little bit of conductor later. Have a look at it. Dave Randall, hello to you. Been a while, mate. Who else have we got in? Train Views. I think I welcomed you, but if not, hello there. And the Crazy Oz Adventure is looking forward to buying this route tomorrow morning for the Australian users. If you're an end-to-end person, I reckon you will probably like it. Now, set this thing up. We've got Master key. I've got to try and remember now. I've only done this a few times. Not cab light. Headlights. 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 That just makes all three of them white. And then we want to turn on the compressor. Train voltage supply. EP brakes. And at this point we should be able to open the doors, which look like they're on our right-hand side. So I'll do that. The train does work with Rail Driver. I will be using it tonight. So I've just released the brake. Leave the reverser in neutral. Put the main mode selector into driving. Boop. It goes. And we'll come and turn some stuff on. Now, between one of my tutorials and now, this switch moved. It used to be up there. And it's now down here. Oops, that was a bit of a thing. And then there's ATB. We'll turn that on as well. The dead man, I've got to say, is a right royal pain in the ass if you're using a controller or the rail driver, because you have to mash that button 3 or 4 times to acknowledge it. On keyboard, just hit that Q key once, gently. Wait until 6:49. All right. Let us jump up. And I can do this because we didn't put the controller out of forwards. Let's go look inside. Why not? Got a few more seconds. We've got, look at all the passengers. Wow, there's lots of them. Sorry, is that too sarcastic? There you go. There's the thing. Going to Assen. Right up there. Don't think they do anything, but there are guard panels around somewhere. I haven't played with guard mode yet. So guard key, close and open. Okay, that looks pretty logical. We've got 10 more seconds. Here's the pink bit. How do I get in there? Oh, go press the button. Okay. There you go. Sit in one of the pink bits. That'll be fine. We'd probably better go back up the front. I just saw something. We just got a build update, and those PIS screens used to work, and now they don't. That's a bummer. Oh well. Let me out. Let's race up the outside and go in the outside of the Koploper. Because we can jump in here. And follow the tracks. That was clever. Not sure how I did that, but there you go. I will catch up with chat once we get this thing moving a bit. We don't go that way because that's sealed off. We go this way. Up the steps, 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 into the chair. Alrighty. Forwards. Should be able to do that with rail driver. Can. Good. Lock at the doors locked. And we can drive. Let's hear the horn. This is one of the unique ones too. Because you can play combinations of the horn with both at once. I think it's the only train you can do that. Let's move that down so I don't hit the blind. This apparently is supposed to be see-through, but it doesn't work. That's okay. Alright, we are allowed to go. So, release the brakes. They just sit in fill when you're using rail driver, which is a bit sad, but apart from that, works okay. Train's very quiet on the inside, so I have this turned up to almost maximum game volume for you guys. But there's nearly nothing. If we go outside, it's got noise. And we hit our face on things, but that's okay. Now I've just got to watch my speed because this thing here, there's this silly dead man. So we've just gone over the speed and it's going to attack me, so we've got to put some brakes on. Why can't I put brakes on? There we go. Alright, we got below it. But it's the pointy end of the black bit that actually shows your speed. Which is, to me, weird. But that's okay. I get used to it. Slowly. I find myself overspeeding in this a lot. And getting bitten by ATB a lot. Because, you know, I'm not used to it. I imagine that'll happen to you as well. Let's watch on the outside while we leave here so you can see the scenery in the city. Because very soon... Oh, we're going too fast again. Never mind. It's okay now. It's all good. Just pretend it never happened. Chucky wants to hear the SNG. We'll hear that on the Xbox, certainly. Bert wants the SNG as well. Lord Dapnut says the SNG a dual power electric with a diesel engine. I haven't tried to switch on a diesel, to be honest. That's an interesting question. I might have to make another tutorial if we can do that. Train views, can we look at the mastery? Sure. In an hour's time. Unless you desperately want to do it now. We will do that. Can you have a look at the layers? Yes, we'll do that as well. In fact, I can actually do both while this drives. Get the game running on that Xbox, which means you'll hear the game twice. On Xbox, wake up. Wake up. Right, thank you. Right, let me just mute the Xbox too, because you're not going to want to hear that. No, dead man. Alright, so just while this drives, we'll let it run slowly while I get this up, and I can, once it comes up, I'll show you the mastery and the layers. Should probably speed up a little bit, shouldn't we, since we're allowed to do 80, otherwise we'll be here all day. I have found, so you saw me choose fixed weather and light clouds, I think. I've discovered fog comes on at various places in the route, and I think it's to hide that you can see so far. It does, I'm just watching, oops, too fast. Get it into 3 and we'll be fine. No, we're good. Stop complaining at me, train. The solid buzz means that you're going too fast, and the buzz 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 means that you're okay. Got that wrong in my tutorial, so I've got to fix that. I'm just looking at the coloured lights in my case because my lights change based on the CPU and GPU temperature. My CPU is currently sitting at about 65 degrees. It's normally runs at about 40. And my GPU is probably sitting at about 65 as well, and it normally runs at about 50. So this route makes your gear work hard. Dong means we can speed up. User wants to see a Dutch railroad crossing. Get this working. Trains, mastery. Oops, good man. Trying to run it twice in 2 places at the same time is a bit. Actually, it's not what I want at all. I want that one. I think that one. I'll get there eventually. Too fast. It's very hard to run an Xbox and a PC at the same time, I have to say. Free cam at a crossing, we'll just see one here. There's your crossing, user. Hopefully that'll stop. It does. Good. And we don't stop here, so that's good. We'll just let this keep running at about 120. That'll be fine. That'll let me keep doing what I need to do here. Go here. Go to... I don't have any I can turn on at the moment. See... I don't want to enable my rewards. I'll check my progress. Okay. Now let me just pause that one for a moment and pop down and turn on that. And turn off that. Right. Now we've got mastery. And I'll just turn on the sound from the Xbox. Oh, that's a bit loud, isn't it? Let's turn that down. All right. Must remember to turn off the music before I run any Thomas thing. So this one, tier 1 progress, you get a dog, apparently. And you have to run Dutch Comfort, complete 2 scenarios, and the Koploper drive 15 miles. I would have, I haven't actually, no, I'm just looking at the Xbox. I haven't done on the Xbox yet. Tier 2 just won't tell me until we do tier 1. That's life. Now, the other thing people wanted to look at was the layers. If I just get back out of here and go to the trains, choose a route, Zwolle Groningen services, layers. Did that poorly. Pressed the wrong button. Layers, that button. There we go. We have the SNG freight from Frankfurt, Fulda, or Nürnberg, Dresden. It's probably both, actually. Freight tankers not owned. That would suggest... Oh, no, I haven't done everything on the Xbox, so that doesn't surprise me that much. Scroll down. G6. I don't own that on the Xbox. Static ICM 3s and static phones from Nürnberg, Dresden. I actually think I do have Nürnberg, Dresden on the Xbox. I must have it installed. But that's okay. We will come back to the Xbox at a point in time, and we will make that happen. So let me turn this one back on and turn that one off and shut the Xbox up. Right, let's get back into it. And I'll try and catch up with the chat while we're supposed to be accelerating on our way to Essen. Alrighty, now I'll try and catch... Oops. Ah. Let me just scroll back in the chat because I've missed a bit. DTG black screen is like a flashbang. Yes, it is a little bit. It could be a bit disconcerting. So we've had a look at the layers. Which route would you say are worth getting the most? For me, I like a fast commuter. Both Bostons are good. Brighton Main Line, like that one, which is London commuter. I do like Blackpool branches. What else do I like? NTP. I like the diesel upgrade. So there's quite a few. Depends what you're into. If you're into American freights or something, there's going to be other ones. So let me know what you're into and we can have a bit of a look. Lord Dapnut says Preston is the best. It is pretty decent. Oops. Bert Gamers means I stop shooting. Something like that. Swift TV says any other good ones. There's quite a few good ones. So try and keep this thing. I'll try and keep it about 130. That way it won't be running into ATB all the time and we can chat. And we can do things like this. We have two Koploper's joined together. There's lots of new scenic assets in here. I haven't seen the umbrella and the picnic table before. These houses, I don't think I've seen before. I've seen the bins before. I haven't spotted any new trees. I think they've mostly reused trees. And this hedge asset's okay, but there's another one they use on the route that's a bit yuck. So it's not too bad. Scenery's okay. Let's catch up with the train. Shit, man. Let's go and see a crossing open and close. Let's catch up with it. Tree Sim World, great. We're out in the country now. We have... Now, in the stream, they said these were storks, but they look kind of storkish, kind of pelicanish to me. So, I don't know. I'm not a stork aficionado. Let's see if we can find a crossing to get in front of the train and watch it open and close. You've seen about how the fog comes on? And I think it's a defensive thing so it doesn't blow up the computer, which my PC has just gone red in being up this high. Water treatment plant. Big dependency on water in the Netherlands. Mostly a dependency on wanting it to go away. Are we going to see a crossing? Yes, we are. We just missed the gates going down. I'm told the Dutch don't really sound their horn. I'm also told that on these crossings, that one of these, this one I think, the bars should be the other way around. Yeah, so that crossing works. Oh, I didn't see the flashing things in the gate before. That's cool. All right, let's see if we can find another one and get to it before it actually shuts, so we can see the whole cycle happen. Let's catch up with our train. Melbourne train guy suggests Southeastern High Speed. That's a good one, yes. Nightbot wants you to smash the like button. So do I. Lord Dampnut spares what interests you. If your train's East Coast Mainline Castle is good, German high-speed route. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Damn it. Missed that one. Excuse me. I have a cough from a long COVID, unfortunately, which I'm told I'll have for about 12 weeks. Here comes another train. Let's get back down on the tracks and watch this come past. And will this crossing open and then close again? No, it's just going to stay closed, of course. It's got pedestrian barriers, this one, though, so that's kind of cool. So we'll sit here and wait for the train, and we'll get back in the train, I think. Accordion, sure. Alright, let's jump back in the train for a while. For as long as it is quite quiet in here. There's no windows you can open. Catching up more. Nope. Myland says, "G'day, I'm taking a break from Thomas and friends. Visit the West Somerset Railway." You can always play that while you watch, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. You should speed up a bit. I think I've said the train works okay with Rail Driver, better than most of the other recent ones have, so I think there's been some listening happening there. Deadman is too quiet. You often miss it. It's louder outside than inside, which is a bit sad. I will try and find a crossing closure for you. Let me just grab a lozenge. We are going very slowly. Alright, let's go and try and find a crossing for user. My apologies for the coughing. There's not a lot I can do about it, but I'll try and mute myself. Ooh, no one's standing up. Ooh, back. Cool. Maybe they are storks. They look less like pelicans standing up. Hopefully we can find a crossing somewhere up here. That one's already shut. To keep going. Lord Dampnut says you paid for the CPU, you're going to use all of your CPU, right? Well, not anymore, because Intel's defensive measures shut it down. If you run it too hard and too hot, they just go, nah, you're out of here. There we go. We're in luck. Hopefully this crossing actually works. There is one on the route that doesn't. How far away is the train? Quite a ways. It's going a bit slow too. It's only doing 86 k's according to the rail driver. Melbourne train guy said this might be taxing for 8th gen if there's mandatory fog. I think the mandatory fog will actually help 8th gen, to be honest. Darren Clark, hello there. Would this be easy to control using the Xbox controller? It is, except for one thing. That one thing is the dead man acknowledgement. You have to mash that button 3 or 4 times. And I believe it's the same with PlayStation, according to the other ambassadors. And that's only on the Koploper. It works fine on the SNG. I've reported it. I've popped it in DTG's Jira, so hopefully it will get addressed. Obviously it won't before release. Can't hear the train yet, so it might be another train setting this off, not ours. There it is. Hello, Jumbo Train. No need to spare. There you go, user. You've now seen the whole thing from start to finish, which is cool. And we found one with cars, which is even better. I'll wait till it actually stops, and I'll go back to our train. You will see a lot of this scenery. Get used to it. I should probably... I must have got whacked, partially whacked by Deadman at one point, because my power was off. So just fix that and start speeding up again. One thing I have noticed is the lattice posts don't load in properly on the one away from the train until you get very close to it, which is, I find, a little bit distracting. Chocky is confused about what my plan is. I really have a plan. ATB seems a tricky bugger. No, ATB is actually okay. It's actually fairly simple, I'd suggest. It's a lot like ATC in America, but it's simpler. User says, can you also ride the high-speed trains in the Dutch map? Yes, you can. You can ride as a passenger as much as you want. Jamie says, can you do an SNG and then look to see if Almelo is on the destination board? We can do that. Keep that in mind for when we finish this run. I'll switch to the Xbox to run the SNG. I'm using both platforms because I just want you to see what the difference is like on an Xbox. I can only show you on the X because I'm running the beta version on the S, so I can't show you the S tonight. But I'll definitely show you the X. Hello, bad guy, how are you? Chocky says, I would say Pelican. Yeah, look, having seen it standing up, I do reckon Stork. Here is an 80 coming up, so I better start slowing down. Deadman as well. Bing says the thing, you've got a little while to slow down, a little while, and as long as you're going to break step 3 or 4, it'll stop bugging you about slowing down. So that buzz was ATB. When we hear the buzz, 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 I can release the brakes. So we'll hear that momentarily. That lets me know I can release the brakes. And of course you immediately put on a little bit of power. The S power ranges are series, and then you go into the P power ranges, which are parallel. And that makes you go too fast, of course. You go back into brake step 3 again, and it stops yelling at you until it goes buzz, buzz, buzz. That was the bit I got wrong in one of my tutorials. I said at one point that buzz, buzz, buzz was actually telling you you're going too quick, and it's the other way around. Buzz, buzz, buzz tells you that you've got reached the right speed, and the long buzz is too quick. There are a great many canals, so it's kind of cool. Sad to say we don't get to go to Amsterdam, so we don't see those girls by the canals in the windows. Maybe one day we'll get a route that goes there. Might happen. Is this Assen? I should probably think about stopping, shouldn't I? This is Assen. Or Essen. Is it Essen? Assen? Assen? I don't know. Ass is up. I don't know. Thumbs up, something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this train is now arriving at Assen. Please check yours and get it off my train. I'm curious if there's any passengers on the train. Actually, I want to go look. Hey, look, the PIS is working here. Cool. It wasn't working at Groningen. We'll go have a look at that while we're stopped here. And I'll cheat a little bit to avoid getting later. I will use photo mode to look around the station because that pauses the game. Righto, let's go into photo mode while that's happening. We can go and look at this PIS. We should probably make it focus, shouldn't we? How about manual focus? Come on, you can figure this out. Depth of field maximum. There we go. Now, where's the focal point? Not there. Oh, well. Doesn't work too well on PIS, clearly. But so that's what the PIS looks like. So it's kind of cool. Let's go look at the rest of Assen. Some new bins. One for pizza. Bin specifically for pizza. This bloke's sort of completely getting around. He actually looks kind of old, doesn't he? When did he get old? Soon we'll have fat people. Oh, wait. The fat controller. Snack and dash. Empty, unfortunately. Someone's had a snack attack. Newspaper man. Fair machines. Well, yeah, I suppose you could sit like that. That'd be okay. That's all right. Nothing to see here. Actually, we should jump out because I wonder if there's elevators here. I suppose there are. Yeah, let's get out of photo mode. And let's actually jump out of the train. Let's go see if the elevator works. Oops, hang on. Gotta do something. Neutral. Otherwise, the system will go off and we won't be able to leave. Oh, is that a collectible? No, it's just rubbish. I just realised we could get on top of things. Is that way we can get over the wall? Only we could jump. So I'm sure someone wants to know if the elevator works. I kind of do. Route map. Must have been here before. Phone man. Yeah, joke on me if there's no elevator in here. There's no route map there. Little cafe. This is quite nicely done. Uh-huh. I was wondering what he was doing, but okay. Good to have someone actually in the cafe. Nothing in the snack machines, though. Sandwich. Can I have your sandwich? You're clearly not wanting it. Bicycles, they're everywhere. Lots of new bicycles in this. I haven't seen an elevator yet. I don't know what's down there. See, I think the joke's on me that maybe there isn't an elevator. How do we get to the other platform then? Oh, what's that? That does say lift, but there clearly isn't one. It's just doors. Well, clearly this one doesn't work. Alright then, back to the train. We'll use the cheats way back into the train, I think. Actually, I'll probably left the door open downstairs. Let me go fix that. I don't think it'll drive with its door open somehow. Alright, back in the chair. That was a wasted effort, wasn't it? Back into forwards. Close the doors. Release the brakes. And we've timed that just right so the doors will shut right about now. This little light here tells you the doors are shut. We got to hear an SNG. Good stuff. Getting back to the chat. Funny, bad guy says, I'm sorry, this is such a long time ago. Funny how that glitch still exists from TSW2. I believe it wasn't New York Penn, it was the other New York route they did with the same trains. I can't remember the name of it now. New York Trenton. When does this train come out? Overnight and tomorrow for the Aussies. 3 AM on Steam. Should be out midnight for consoles, I think. Hello, Gav. Melbourne Train Guy says not to be rude, but it's Train Sim World, not Crossing Sim World. We've seen 3 already. Yeah, we tried to see one that was closing, though. Jumbo Train wants Thomas. No Thomas today. We're doing... we can always put Thomas on this route if we get really bored, I suppose. But I haven't. Gav says it's really simple. Chucky says, did it freeze for you? No. Jumbo Train says 140. Well, that's 4. But okay. Bad guy says he's well, that's good. Jumbo Train says Thomas again. Jumbo Train's gotten bored now, that's good. I don't want to hear too many Thomases. The train accelerates relatively well up to 100, then it sort of accelerates a bit more slowly as you get higher speeds. These, I believe, when they came out, were originally rated for 160, but ATB won't actually let it do 160 on this route. And I'm told that the 160 is actually disabled on these trains in reality. So they were intended for 160, but they never actually managed it. Chucky says my computer just did the most random thing ever. AC says those strange red windows. Bad guy says, knowing Matt, they would no longer be girls in the windows, there'd be little Matts in the windows waving their hands at you. I'm Matt! He's got something else to hate me for now. Uh-oh, going too fast. Let's fix that. A little bit of brakes. There we go. That's better. It is quite hard to stay on speed. Gab says a donkey in the window. There you're talking. That would be Amsterdam all over, a donkey in the window. I'm sure you can buy that service somewhere in the world. Probably Thailand. Oh, no, that's boys that look like girls. AC says, I'm a sucker for an elevated cab position. It is interesting. I heard someone describe it as the 747 of trains. That does make sense. They've done the water nicely, I have to say. Nice reading and stuff around the edges, which is good. Hello, C. How are you? I'm still catching up with the chat. TSD, what are the route collectibles? You know, I didn't pay attention to that in the stream this morning because I was too busy banning an emoticon nut. So we'll have to figure that out. I know there's route maps. There goes a Vectron. That's one of the two freight type tables. That may change because the Vectron I've got, Matt said he didn't run the Vectron this morning because it doesn't support ATB, but the one that I've got does. So clearly we're at different builds. The ambassadors have a special build to run for you guys. So I hope that's going to come out quickly, but with only 2 runs, that's not that big a deal. But maybe there'll be more in the future, I don't know. I am speculating, it's not something I know or don't know. I have heard somewhere there's some signs that are backwards. All the crossings seem to work, which is nice. Dre Dreamer asks, enjoying the route so far? The route is executed well. I'm not a long distance drive between a couple of stations kind of player. It's not my kind of thing. So, but just because it's not my kind of thing doesn't mean other people won't enjoy it. I know a lot of people do love long distance runs and don't like the short ones. I personally just like the quick station commuter trains. It's a bit like West Coast Mainline North. I really enjoy doing things like Flying Scotsman runs on it. But do I drive the 87 much? Not really. Because it's just a long route. Do I put the 87 on Blackpool? Yes, because it's fun then. So it all comes down to what you like. If you like a long run, you'll probably like this route. It is a little bit challenging. I know Netherlands is a bit funny because the Netherlands is almost dead flat because a lot of it's man-made. But it's just not flat enough that there's plenty to do. So the Koploper, for example, you're on the acceleration, you're on the brakes, you're on the acceleration, you're on the brakes. So there's enough to keep you interested as a driver. I suspect conductor mode in this thing would be a bit meh, because you're just going to be sitting down for an hour most of the time. And I have no people anyway, so I don't know what I'd be checking in conductor mode. So, you know, it'd be nice if the train had people. A lot of them do. I have done runs where there are people in there, but this one seems to be empty for whatever reason. Deadman just bit me and is currently stopping the train. And it's now recharging the brake pipe. The brakes are coming off. And I'll be allowed to power again in a moment. Right about now. Full power, of course. Yes, I was a bit slow on the Deadman there. You've got to be very quick. You've got about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds tops to react to Deadman. Or as it's called down there, Dodie Man. Apologise if you're Dutch. Chocky said man had a walking stick. Indeed. Chocky says the SNG sounds so nice he might buy it just for that. It is pretty good. Sreebs, hello, how are you? Bad Guy says usually comes out more like 4 AM on consoles nowadays, especially the PlayStation. 4 AM for me on Pacific time zone. It's generally midnight in Australia. Generally. But somebody might tell me I'm a twit because I usually don't see the keys load on console because I've got them a few days before generally. Dre Dreamer says that was a cargo lift. Well, that makes sense, okay, but it had people, signed with people and arrows. But we'll find an elevator somewhere because I know some of them work. At Groningen they do. Lord Dampnut says it's a nice waterway. Everybody likes a bit of moist. And Shreve says, hi from your mod friend, indeed. We're not supposed to stop here, are we? No, we're going to Zwolle. I think it's pronounced Zwolle anyway. I think. Let's just have a look around the train here. We'll cut the power off, actually. Let's have a look at our scenery around here. We've got some factories, some chemically looking things. More water. Big sort of officey industrial building. Some clearly Dutch buildings. And then it just peters out into houses. This hedge is my personal arm. No more 2D real estate, please. The other ones aren't too bad. We could leave the simple ones out, I think, I would hope. Get better ones for the future. Bad Guy says they'd probably be solar powered every time the sun shines and they wave faster. Ah, that would work. We were talking about solar powered mats to put in the girly windows in Amsterdam that wave. That would work. Sort of makes sense. Trainview says the Mid-Norfolk Railway had its 30th anniversary last weekend. I think ours is, what are we up to? 56, 50, 70. Yeah, we're getting up in 70 or something years for our railway, for it being in volunteer hands anyway. Railway itself's been around since 1903. The houses are all nicely placed. I haven't seen any with windows and doors disappearing into the ground, which is nice. Mind you, the ground's kind of flat, so I guess that's the way, isn't it? Go look at this place over here. Little warehousey things. Bit of junk, not much activity though. And a community garden. Excellent. Come back just in time for Deadman. We could have a donkey on the toilet waving out the window. That's a good idea. Bad Guy says, I do like the fact you can actually see out of this train. It does look like you're looking out of a cutting board. Yeah, some of the English ones are a bit narrow, aren't they? Chucky says, I can't believe you saw the Vectron even though there's only 2 services. You know, I might have timed it that way, Chucky. Just saying. Maybe. If you're wondering why it keeps saying headlights on, that's just one of the joys of the rail driver. Every time it scans the rail driver, it goes, oh look, the headlights are on. Even though it knew that from before. Lord Dampnut says production build doesn't have ATB in the Vectron. He said it'll come in a patch soon. Well, given it does have it in this build, but I'm not going to show it to you because I did not get... Actually, let me just check, because I did ask earlier if we could, but I don't think I got an answer. No, I didn't get an answer. I asked if we could show it or not, and since they haven't answered, I'm not going to. It's just not worth it. I'm not surprised they haven't answered. They're probably asleep. Bad Guy says, I'm probably waiting for GWE Remastered before I get back into this game. I am looking forward to that. That's looking pretty cool. Just wish it was coming a bit quicker. Mind you, we've got enough to play with. After all, Thomas, the tank engine on this route will probably take about 5 hours to get to the end of it. C says, for someone that doesn't like non-UK routes, this is nicely done. No, it is very nicely done. The scenics is quite nice. It's very repetitive because it really is that way. I did watch a cab ride video and it looks pretty much remarkably like this, so yeah. Chocky says, I like doing commuter runs, but you go fast between stations. That's why I thought the Southern Dartford lines would be good. Go too fast, go too fast. And okay again. Sometimes I press dead man when I hear the buzzer. It's not really what you want though. The train, to me, loses a bit too much speed when it's coasting. So we're going downhill now. It's not a steep gradient by any means, 0.2%. But we are actually slowing down. And I don't think in reality you would. I think you'd speed up. So it's a bit weird. Chocky says, I'm a bit like Richie, full beans and slam the brakes on. That works. That's kind of what I do a lot of the time. So I think on the SNG run, I probably like the route more with SNG because you do stop some of the services anyway everywhere. So we'll do one of those shortly from the Xbox because we're probably about this speed, 25 minutes or so away from Zwolle. Bad Guy says, there's one number of things about this game right now that bother me. I like to see the trains before with people and actually have a realistic number of passengers on board most trains. I don't think that's unreasonable. I know Matt would too. And I know you know Matt, Bad Guy, so I'm sure you've told him. I think it's calmed down. Tell you what, the fact we're slowing down, I was too slow on the dead man then. Yes, I was. Look at that. Sigh. I'm good at this dead man thing. Full bananas. Chucky says, I like doing community runs. I've done that bit. Bad Guy says, literally just ghost trains with a driver. Some of them are like that. Melbourne Train Guy says 9 PM for consoles. I would have thought midnight, but anyway. Happy to go with 9 PM if that's your experience. Chucky says, I wonder if Harry has learned how to pronounce the names yet. Probably not, neither have I. Sorry about the coughing, folks. I'd love to not be doing it, believe me. C says, yeah, same Bad Guy, not really bothered with TSW for a while, looking forward to the GWE update. Bad Guy says, I haven't played in like 3 months. Hopefully you do find your way back into it at some point. Isle of Wight Transport says, was your railway once an operational line? It was. It opened in 1903. It ran till 1956 when it was closed by a landslide, and the government, well, we don't want that anymore then, and closed it. And then volunteers took over and started to rebuild it. And it took us to about 1990 or so before we got back out to the end of the line. So it ran to the midpoint within about 1985, it got to the midpoint, and it was another probably almost 10 years before it got out to the final point on the line. Melbourne Train Guy says this will be out in 45-ish minutes in PlayStation. It's cool. Hopefully it is. That'll be good. Bad Guy says very much. Lord Datnut says 5 AM tomorrow for us Steam plebs. I always thought 3 AM. I've had stuff come out at 3. C says, I gave up on it, mate. I was hoping the Welsh route would get me back to it, but wasn't keen. Thomas, I've seen them all on here, so pointless. Ah, but you can run Thomas everywhere, see? That's fun. I do that. Bad Guy wasn't a fan of the Thomas thing. Thomas, beep beep. Anyway, I do get that, but I like it. I enjoy Thomas. Melbourne Train Guy wants to know if this route's doing it for C. Gav says Moggy would demand ice cream and a gronk on every route. Well, I think we can put a gronk on this route. You know that. Bad Guy says we must put a gronk on this line. Moggy would demand it. I think we can do that at some point in the stream. Probably not right now, though. We make our way to Zwolle. C says I only liked it because of my childhood. It was too kiddie like me, nicely done. No Bad Guy and no Melbourne, so I'm so fussy. That's just life, mate. You like what you like. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. Bad Guy says he was an awesome dude. Gav says he is an awesome dude. Parallel Netherlands says, well, I assume that's good morning. Go Eddie Morgan, I guess. It's night time for me. It's 8:30, near enough, PM. But, you know, I live on the other end of the world. Maverick, hello to you. Melbourne Train Guy hopes something piques C's interest. I'm sure it will sooner or later. We'll get something that he finds interesting. And gets him back in. Quiet, dead man. About 18 minutes out of Zwolle, I would guess. We'll be just a little bit late, but not too bad. We're running on DB timing today. Bad Guy says, I have mentioned it. I've mentioned a few things from Matt, but I don't like to bother him too much. I know he's a busy guy with the corporate overlords. Now I'm wondering how much pull Matt really has. Oh, look, I think he still does. But I know he's a bit disconnected from Train Sim World because there's a lot of stuff going on. And he oversees everything, all of the product ranges, so there's just things happening, I think. It was actually really good to see him back on his own streams. Deadman started to get me again. Thanks, Deadman, you're very helpful. That's okay. Here comes another Koploper. They are remarkably noisy on the outside, the Koplopers. Power Rail says less than an hour left for consoles. That's excellent. You guys will be playing it really soon then. Bad Guy says, I have missed the guy. Actually, I haven't spoken to him like 2 years. He's never around Discord anymore. Occasionally, but yeah, not much. Maverick, what do you give this route out of 10? Scenically, I reckon I'd give it an 8. And the trains are well implemented. Both of them are well implemented from what I've seen so far. I've had the only issue I've had. I tried power braking in the Koploper and I derailed it. So don't do power braking in the Koploper. This dead man stopping the train. Come on, press the wrong button. Don't mind me. Gav says we miss him, giving Matt hell. Ah, why not? feel free. Do you think the GWE update will get C back into the game? C says to Melbourne. Well, hopefully it does, mate. That'd be good. Xbox is going to sleep. Don't want that because we're going to be in it soon. Melbourne Train Guy says GWE remaster will be fire. Ferramaro says, how's the route? I've explained to a few people it's scenically very nice. The trains are really good. But I'm misinterpreting the buzzer. We need to get down to 80 Ks. I'm not an end-to-end kind of person. So it's not really my kind of run. It's like Castle Wurzburg. If you like Castle Wurzburg, you'll like this. If you like the long American freight runs, you'll probably like this too. Ooh. Not often you get a gratuitous bridge shop in the Netherlands, so let's take it without the trees, shall we? Welcome to Tree Sim World, people. We cruise through here at a blistering 80 kilometers an hour. You take the lesser of the display and the HUD. So whatever the lesser is, that's what you do. GWE Master and Tadami, what Mafric wants. Hentus, hello Hentus, how are you? C says, Paul, if you can't answer, I fully understand. I've heard obviously not factual that Manchester Airport isn't happening as staff have walked out, but I think it's only one guy. I have no clue, mate. No idea. Double-decker bicycles. Wow. That'd be hard work getting your bike up there, wouldn't it? So I can't comment on Manchester Airport. I have no idea. I haven't seen it. That's all I can say about it. The only thing I'll say is never believe rumours until they're proven, because you can just end up looking silly. Sometimes they're true. Sometimes they aren't. Ooh, that crossing was a bit slow. That was still closing when we ran through it. Bad Guy says, I like Thomas. When I was a kid, I used to watch Shining Time Station, if anybody remembers that one, but when they cancelled the show, I kind of lost interest in it, perfectly honest. Yeah, it's been through a few cycles, Thomas. But these days it's owned by the corporate overlords. And, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's about all I can say about that, Thomas. Hentus says it is 9:27 in the AM there. That's pretty cool. Parallel says, are you from America? No, I'm not. Actually from Australia. You are correct, Parallel. What might be slightly confusing is I do have a little bit of American twang occasionally because I did live there for 4 years, doing some work on the Bay Area transit systems. That's remarkably linear. Very linear. Oh, dead man. Don't do that to me. I don't want you to stop my train. You're boring. "2:30 in the morning, Bad Guy. That's impressive. Bad Guy says, everybody show your hands if you want to see a Gronk on this route. Parallel says, no, now I understand. Sorry, I thought you're from the UK. No. I visited the UK last year, and I'm hoping to do it again this year, later in the year. Got another speed zone coming up. Melbourne says, Tadami looks beautiful as well. C says, didn't they first mention that back in TSW4? Yes, they did. It's been a long time coming. But, you know, it's only a couple of people. Give them a chance. The screenshots are looking pretty good. It'll be good once we see trains running on. Things like the slow burn stuff, I do kind of prefer that we wouldn't know about it until it's closer to being ready. Because it is It is kind of annoying to have to wait a long time after you know something's coming. I'll survive, as we all will. Hey, Psych, how are you? Get a horn. Perhaps I should go at the other end. This one does transition quite nicely from outside sounds to inside sounds, I have to say. There's not that funny break you get with some trains. So I'm hoping this route is popular and that they do more, because I'd like to drive these trains on other routes, ones that meet more my play style. That would be good. Some windmills, but not exactly your iconic Dutch windmills. Actually, that reminds me, one of the collectibles is little mini windmills. So we'll have to go and find some. I haven't actually collected anything on this route. I barely had time to myself this weekend because there were other things happening that I promised to do. And I didn't want to let the other half down. Because it would be kind of mean if I said, I'll do that, and then I didn't. Back up we go. The Dead Man to me is a little quiet. I do miss it sometimes. So one of the things I like to do is I'll play music while I'm driving. I can't with this if I run the Dead Man because I miss it and I don't hear it. That's a bit tedious, but that's okay. Nice shadowing through the windows on this one. That's missing on some models. Yeah, we can pick up a bit more speed now. Glad you're good, Hentus Rail. Hope you're having fun. C says exactly that, Paul. I agree. Cool. You Burke, hello. You just made it. Welcome. Hentus says I equate this to Munchen Augsburg. Yeah, it could be. So, and I fist. Oops, sorry. And I think I missed a comment from Ferro Mirror. I think it just scrolled off. Gotcha, there's not many stations on the route. No, I think it's about 11 or 12, something like that. Says it's been a little while since it was announced. Maybe it's a TSW6 route. Well, you know I'm not going to speculate on Transit World 6. It's a bit like the sales. I don't speculate on the sales, but they come out at the same time every year, so you should be able to figure it out for yourself. At 8 minutes from Zwolle. When I switch over to the Xbox to run the SNG, do you want me to run from Zwolle to Groningen? Or do you want to do the same run this way round again? Pararails Netherlands says, at my home station, we've got a double-level bicycle parking lot with a roof. First 24 hours is free parking. That's cool. I mean, bikes are huge in the Netherlands, aren't they? It's the main transport mode. Melbourne train guy says it's a TSW6 launch route. Sigh. C seems to agree with that. Henter says Thomas has already been to Onan Depot. Why not? It's been up Mittenwald Barn too. I am 5 minutes behind the chat. I'll get there. Melbourne says as long as GW Remaster isn't a TSW6 thing. My gut feel on that without knowing anything is that that's probably a middle of the year type thing. Just from the way Matt talks. Because you can usually if you pick up on the cues of Matt's language, and Bad Guy's known him for a long time, you probably get what I mean. The things he says give you a little indication of what he feels about stuff without actually giving you any news. He's very good at not giving you any news. It'd be very rare for him to say something he didn't mean to say. I know it has happened occasionally on his streams where he's accidentally answered a question. So watch his streams. Maybe you'll learn something. Who knows? Bad Guy says Shiny Time Station was amazing. I remember Shiny Time. I think we've actually got it. Might even have it on Blu-ray, which is a bit of a waste of Blu-ray, but there you go. C says, I don't want it to be Melbourne. He'll be fuming. Yeah, I imagine you would. Uberk says, that looks very Dutch with canals and ditches on both sides of the track. You like it? Cool. Hentus, have you tried the BR193 freight yet? Afternoon yet? No, I haven't, because I didn't hear back whether we should be running the Vectron or not. So I haven't actually run it. Melbourne says, see, I wonder what the UK launch would be. For Shiny Time. Parallel Netherlands says, yeah, hope for more Dutch routes, and Australian, of course, having more countries is great. We could get Australia one day, but I think Matt lived on the southern side of the coast above Sydney. So I would, if he ever did Australia, I think he'd pick something he knew. So I doubt we'd get Melbourne, but, you know, you never know. You never know. Right Away Productions, hello there. Power Rail Netherlands says the dead man is small and quiet. Very much is. Hentus will be streaming again from 2 o'clock and says, sorry. That's fine, mate. You go for your life. We do share an audience, but that's alright. Uberk says, I doubt they'll decide not to make more routes now they have the trains. Yeah, I reckon they will too. I would be a little bit surprised. Ooh, bridge. I'd be a little bit surprised if we didn't get more Dutch stuff. Because it's an awful lot of effort to go to not go to the next little bit of effort to make more routes, because the trains are harder to make than the routes. So we shall see. We are coming up on Zwolle now. Chucky says, I'm still waiting for a sale. Maverick says this is giving me Peterborough Doncaster vibes. Yeah, I kind of get that. Should start slowing down a little bit. We roll into Zwolle. Bad Guy says, isn't that the point after being married for so many years you just sort of come to expect the other person to do what he says? Try not to. Does happen. Try not to. Has been a while. 1991. It's been a little while. Initially when I saw this area I thought that was water, but it's solar panels. Lots and lots of them. Bidding. I'll have to learn to time those so I can do my... And this train is brought to you by the machine that goes ding. It's necessary. Parallel says I buy most things on sale. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, I agree. No, if you can handle the FOMO, absolutely wait for a sale. It's a good deal, especially since the sales are usually pretty good. C says I don't know Melbourne. Surely a main line of some sort, maybe up north. Who knows? Ferramaro says is this out now or not yet? A couple of hours. Some people are saying it's actually coming out within this hour, so we'll see. I thought longer, but. We'll know very soon, because people will disappear and go and play it. Apparently PlayStation is expected first. So when I switch over to driving SNG, it'll probably come out. Pararail says, yes, cycling on commute is big in the Netherlands. Even I go to work and do my groceries on a bicycle. I do ride mine to work. Sometimes in the nicer weather. I haven't done it so much lately, but I should get back into that, really. because it's not a very long ride to work for me. It's about 20 minutes. So it's easily doable. And parking is so much easier with a bicycle, as long as no one steals it. Bad Guy says, I'm not going to say anything about Train Some World 6 other than go read Focus Quarterly Report. They may or not have accidentally leaked it under their new release section. That's all I'm going. You know I have to go and look now. Chuck me a link in Discord, Bad Guy. Oops, wrong interpretation there. We come into Zwolle. One person riding properly up there and one T-posing. Just slide our way into Zwolle, and we'll have a look around here. We'll go and try and find some collectibles. We'll go and see if the lifts work, if there are any. We shall see. And then we'll switch over to the Xbox and run the SNG 3, probably from here and go the other way, I guess. And I'll see if I can find a stopper. Chucky says, Blu-ray, the thing no one uses anymore. Yeah, Blu-ray's good. I've still got a PS4 just for playing Blu-ray discs. That's all it does. Dead man having a last crack at trying to kill me. Alrighty, doors are unlocked. Why is my throttle going on? It shouldn't be. Bloody rail driver. And we'll wait till this finishes. We'll come back in free roam and have a wander around and have a look. Melbourne Train Guy says, see, I really hope it's an 80-0 or a 90-01. Uberk says Ferramero later today, not yet. C says out at 10 AM, consoles, 4 PM, epic. Ferramero says, Uberk, gotcha, thanks. Those times would be UTC. There we go. Ooh, speeding a little bit. Still got a platinum. Lost 1,100 points speeding. That's just mean. At least I got my used safety systems. Alright, let's return to free roam. Let's get out before this guy drives off with us. Shouldn't really get out on this side, but, you know, some things you just got to do. Let's see what we can find in terms of collectibles around here. I just walked, shouldn't I? They look, oh no, they're disabled ramps. Okay, I thought they were air conditioners. Fire hydrant. It's a new asset. I'm told there should also be a red fare system reader, but I'm guessing that scan here. But I'm guessing that's couldn't get licensing for that one, so it's not in there. Down the non-working escalator. There's a lift. Let's find out if it works. Does it work? Ooh. Does it? Oh, I can go through the closed door. Okay. That makes sense. Up we go. It works. Look at that. My train's leaving. Bye-bye, train. Still got no one in it, doesn't it? Yep, empty train. Oh well, collectible hunt. See what we can find, and then we'll run the SNG. We'll try and find a stopping one, so we stop at all stations. Not collectible. Hello World, apparently. That's probably my SNG leaving right now. I haven't seen anything that really resembles a collectible yet. Maybe this is a route map. No? No? Timetables? Printed timetables like we had on the German route. Slightly lower res than the German one. Look, they all go to Groningen. How about that? That's a surprise. Has anybody actually seen anything that looks anything like a collectible? Not collectible fire hydrants. Nothing at all. Big collection of bongo drums. Alright, let's skip over and try this platform now. Jockey says TSC says you know, you never know. Don't know what that means. Oh, I'm just a politician. C says 90s vibes, 80s like JT roots are amazing, but I like the 90s. That's cool. I do not see anything collectible around here. What's that? Is that a route map? Maybe. No. There's one there, but it's already there. I don't remember collecting it. Something subtle tells me we can't go out through here. Maybe there's collectibles downstairs. Let's try this lift. Can I walk through the doors? No. Good. Melbourne's going to check the PlayStation store, see if it's out yet. C has pretty much only UK routes, bar the USDE from 1075 standard. Bad guy said I can find it again. I do have a Discord. There's a link on my channel, but I can also pop a link in the chat. Let me do that. Where is it hiding? Where is it hiding? There we go. This is my Discord. You can probably find me anyway, because we've probably got Discords in common. Look at those ones aren't very happy. I hear lots of people, but where are they? It's just you. So the static people are here, but the walking around people appear to be invisible. And I see 0 collectibles. Oh well, let's go and find an SNG. Hey, this side of the screen works, look. That one works. Isn't that blank before? Oh, maybe there's no train coming on that platform. Maybe that's why they're blank. Maybe I'm just an idiot. It's certainly possible. But I see 0 collectibles. Makes me sad. And the SNGs go from over there, so let's just pick one and we will cut over to the Xbox now, so which of course has gone to sleep, but that's okay. Quick scan through the routes. There's nothing there that shouldn't be. It's fine. Xbox and turn off this one. Right, that's good. Have we got sound from the Xbox? Controller's gone to sleep, of course. Come on, wake up. Doesn't look like we've got Xbox sound. Let's try. There we go. Yep, that's Xbox sound. All right, let's get into the SNG3. Now, I'm going to try and do that from over here, which means I'm going to make OBS bigger. And I hope this doesn't crash it. Because my Xbox is over, well, it's actually over that side because I'm backwards in the thing, but we're going to do it this way. Which means I get to do it low res. Great. So my Xbox runs on a 4K screen, but my, oops, no, this is what I want to do. But my capture card doesn't. 631, that's probably okay. So we'll do that one. And let's get rid of the dynamic weather. Bit of light clouds is always nice. So I will be using the controller now. Driver mode. I did pick the SNG, didn't I? I hope I did. Alright, to get started. Now, I'm remembering how to set this thing up. This is the first time I've played on the Xbox. There's a key around here somewhere. There, I think. Come on. Come on. Come on. I am so bad with the controller. Alright, good. Versa. Do I need to do anything with headlights? I don't think so. We just open the doors and we'd be right. Look at our screen. There are things that you can play with, but oh, you can use it. Look. Data view? No, you can't click them. That's bad. You're in a weird place again. Can you actually click this one on this? Can you click any buttons? You can. Okay, don't know what they mean, but you can. Oh, I know what someone wanted to do. They wanted to go in here, and I think it's WYSIGEN is the one we want. Oops. That one? No? No? One of these buttons lets you change stuff. Don't know what they do, they just go yellow. Menu? Best dimming? No. One of these does. I really should have done this in the PC, shouldn't I? No. We'll come back to this. We'll do it on the PC. So I can get through it, but let's just get this running. Wait until 6:33. It's kind of time to go anyway, almost. A few seconds. Ooh. I've got that HUD. Ooh. I don't want that HUD. I got that HUD. I want the good HUD. No. Hang on. What am I doing? That's what I want. Just a tweet. It's better. Right. That's better. Time to go. It is time to go. I haven't turned on safety systems, have I? Damn. Snooze signal. That sounds like a plan. Dead man? Come on. Give me dead man. Come on. And I want ATB. That one. Come on. I should put a mouse on my Xbox, really. There we go. Okay. Let us drive then. So we're in forwards. We should be able to just drive. There's only one handle, so it's pretty easy to do. There you go. It's that hard. Do we have passengers in the train? Inquiring minds need to know. Camera? No. Do it. Hang on. Hang on. I think we do. I think we do. I'm stuck in a platform, but I think we do. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. No, I'm going too fast. I must pay attention. Pay attention. Oh, I should try and catch up with the chat again. Right away production says slept in late for lecture, best be off. Enjoy your day, sir. C says, Lord, good to have something different in TSW. Jockey says it was an open door. Lord Datnut says 150k's straight line in the Nullarbor. Yeah, it would suck. That would really suck. Melbourne Train Guy says, chat, I found a pull-up entertainment focus in the 24-25 quarterly. Discord link. Bad Guy says, if you're looking for me on Discord, I'm the guy with the cat with the fancy hat and the monocle. Excellent. Cat in the hat, maybe. Time to speed up a little bit. Did I pick one while we're stopping lots? I hope I did. Let's have a look. Let's use the keyboard over here. Xbox keyboard. Yeah, we are stopping in places. Narrowly avoids being spanked by Dead Man. Let me get junk on my Xbox keyboard. There we go. Oh, should probably start slowing down because we're stopping here. Little SNG thing drives pretty well. Got that to... What have I been doing? Not wait. I know I'm missing a chat, it's just scrolling back. Parallel said something should be yellow. Missed what should be. Oops. Ah, shit. Stop. Saved it. I keep pressing the keys on the PC keyboard in front of me, which does bad things for everybody. But that's okay. Now, let's answer the question. Do we have passengers or not? Yes, look. And I've gotten behind a wall. Passengers, look at that. 1, 2. How do people use these things? I'm so terrible with controllers. Anyway, we do have some passengers. That's good. Let's go back up the other end. We'll blow the horn. Lock the doors now. I know people wanted to see these from outside this morning. I've just unlocked the left doors by mistake because I'm clever. Ah, cool. Thank you for dropping the link. I'll have a look at that. Leon says, are you having fun? I'm always having fun, Leon. How are you? I hope you're well. Power Rail says the timetables are yellow. Maybe it's a different company than NS. Oh, look at that. Took my first step. Reach driver level 2. I clearly reset the Xbox a lot. Quite a lot. I think I might be a little more than level 2, just saying. He does sound pretty nice to SNG, I have to say. Back inside the cab. I don't think this has windows you can open to get more noise. No windows you can open. That's sad. That makes me sad. You can see the scenery is still decent in the Xbox as we put on the frame rate thingy-jiggy. So we are still getting 60 FPS, which is what I've got the Xbox locked at. And it's driving a 4K screen at 60 FPS. You're seeing it in 2K. OBS is doing an admirable job of downscaling it. Leon says, maybe people are ghosts in Trains in World 5. Sometimes. Chocky says, I saw a first aid kit on the wall. Yeah, I don't think they're collectible. They're zappy things. I don't think they're collectible zappy things. Leon loves the new train. Bad guy says, I already joined your Discord. Cool, thank you. And you sent a cat spinning on his head to say hi. Why not? C says, I have 616 unopened messages on Discord. Just delete them, mate. Oops, we have a yellow signal. Should start slowing down before it bites me. We want to do 60. Stop it, dead man. There we go. No power. Stop it. Yeah, I was a bit slow on the dead man there. A bit slow. It's a problem with fun things. When you play on PlayStation or Xbox, if you turn on Dead Man on the Koploper, I think I said this earlier, you will have to mash the B or circle buttons to get rid of Dead Man. And I mean mash it 3 or 4 times very, very fast, which is a bit tedious. Coming up on Heron in a little while. Leon says it looks like Adelaide Jumbo train sim. Not really. Chocky says this reminds me of the 423. Yeah, a little bit, I guess. I mean, I think they're a similar family, aren't they? Civity. See, that's how you should do Dead Man. You know, when I was making my tutorials, I could not find a service that had adverse signals. And look at this. Straight into it on the live. Of course. Of course. That's okay. We'll run around this station and see if we can find anything collectible here. C says the sky looks pretty. It does. The sky looks very nice in the early mornings in this game. Not a huge fan of it in the middle of the day. On this train it'd probably be okay because it's got such a big window. There we go. That's near enough. Now let's jump out, but not use that. Let's jump out this way using the controller like a smart person would. Alright, let's see what we can find. That PIS is working, which is grand. Anything in there? No. I've got two Cipities joined together. Really not seeing much on the platform. Do I have a build with no collectibles? Is that possible? I guess it's possible. In theory, this is the same build you guys get, but it'll have a different number when you get it. I'm not really seeing anything up there, nor over there, so let's try the other end of the platform. Actually, we'll cross over. Oops, and not fall off the back. It's the Men in Black. G'day, how you doing? Having fun? Lovely day? Uh-oh, he's got a clipboard. I'm getting out of here. He's writing down that my train's just sitting here. I just got an out now notification, so guess people are correct that it's out now on the police station. Man, is his book the right way up in this route? We got to know. Inquiring minds need to know. Can I get a decent angle on him? Maybe not. Just trying to get a decent angle. No, I think his book's upside down again. Serial killer. Does it work? Firing mines. Ooh. Promising. Yes! Okay. Oops. No, I don't want to give it up. Go away. I'm going to keep my train. I'm looking for things. Jump back in the train. Because I want to find the collectibles. Well, there we go. Bike's placed upright. There's a blank poster, but it's not a route map. There's you go. There's your yellow timetables. So yellow ones and white ones. There's a fare machine or an ATM, one or the other. Okay. Not much in the way of collectibles out here either. I think we should get back on our train and drive. What's there some down here? There's not a bike. This I like. The ones just posed on them and the ones who ride them, even though they end up in T-pose half the time. I do like seeing that. We first saw them on the West Somerset Railway. See, that's not a collectible, whatever that is. The Heartstopper thing. Alright, back on the train. Shut the door. But it's not looking bad on the old Xboxen. Start catching the chat. So Melbourne Train Guy found a link for the report. I will have a look at that. Don't know that I'll show it on stream, but I'll have a look at it. Bad Guy says if you read the new release section of the report, you'll see what I mean. It's subtle, but it's there. It literally just says TSW. C says Dovetail Direct in August to announce TSW 6. You guys are hopeless. Bad Guy says I just have a thing for fancy dress cats. So does my wife. She loves a fancy dress cat. Seem to have the white dot turned on. Remind me to fix that at the next station. Bad Guy says I don't know exactly when they'll announced it, but Focus subtly leaked it as said. I'll have a look. Chucky says, a ramp. Chucky says, I'm sold just for this train in a sale, probably. Melbourne Train Guy said is out now, $60 AUD on the PlayStation. Very cool. That's a little higher than I was expecting, actually, but our Australian exchange rate got just a little mashed over the last couple of days, so that's probably why. Can't do much about that, unfortunately. Why do I keep appearing here? Dead man didn't get me. Woohoo. Civity does seem a touch slow. 100% power. We are slowly crawling up. It's not awful by any means. This feels a tiny bit slow. There are some Koplopers over there. Bad guy says, set to it. Melbourne says it's out now. Pararail, it's out on PlayStation. Excellent. How much is it in the Netherlands, Pararail? C says down 9% on that link. I assume it means the loss of 9%. Sorry, I think. It's probably a loss over last year, C, I would think, but we'll have a look. Drive any locomotive for 5 miles. I must have done something horrible to my Xbox profile. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. I installed Train Sim World 4 and it ate my profile. I forgot about that. There was someone telling me that there was a particular behaviour in Train Sim World 5 that was not in Train Sim World 4 or Train Sim World 3 or Train Sim World 2. So I foolishly installed Train Sim World 4 and 3 and 2 on the Xbox to prove them wrong. And I did prove them wrong, but it ate my profile. Don't ever put the old one on your Xbox. Sucky things happen. Very sucky things. Use the keyboard to do some key things. A little bit blurry there. Might have motion blur on, actually. I wonder if it does. I've even got points on. Everything's turned on. Boop. That's a bit better. So it's not doing the frames as well as the PC did, but that shouldn't be all that surprising, given that the PC is a bit of a beast. Just having to turn over here and use the Xbox keyboard. I'd yank it out of there and bring it close, but something bad would happen, I'm sure. Little fan in the top there. So the frame rate doesn't seem to suffer too much when you get up high. I think that's as high as I can go. Yep. So it's not letting me up very high. That'd be another defensive measure. If you press the keyboard on the right computer, it would help. 14K's to Assen. Being an Australian, of course, you would go it up your Assen. Chalky says the game audio keeps cutting out. That might happen with the game capture card, I guess. Looks okay here. Hopefully it is. Pararail says 39.99 euros out of your wallet. So that's comparable, because 40 euros is actually about 60 Australian dollars. So that's pretty close. Because the euro suffered a little bit too, thanks to the orange leprechaun in the White House. We're all suffering a little bit. Because one bloke. Life. Definitely life. C says fine for him. Bad guy says it helps anybody who just literally sent out a YouTube video saying that the route is now out on PlayStation and Xbox. Fantastic. Chocky Transport says photo mode, look at the book. I could do that, you're right. Bad guy says, in theory, yes. When they say a down percent, could be a bunch of different things. It's all business executive speak. That's a master's degree in business. A lot going to be hard to do. 9% down usually means one or two things. It was either 9% under what they'd budgeted for. So let's say you budget for a profit of $10 and you get $9. That's 9 was actually 10% down. So maybe $9.25. It's 9% down. Or it could mean that it's a 9% reduction in revenue from the previous year. It could be a 9% reduction in profit from the previous year, but I don't think they made a profit in the previous year, so it could be revenue or it could be budget. So, yes, I do see things like that now, corporate reports, and have to interpret them. Melbourne says game audio is okay. Bad guy says understand. Chocky says I want to find the collectibles. Walks into a collectible. What can I say? Ferromario said I didn't know you get the FPS counter on the console. Yeah, you just plug in a PC and press F3. Plug in a PC keyboard. Bad Guy says slightly worse than us. For Canadians, it's 53.49. You're doing okay still, money-wise. Our dollar has dropped, but our economy is actually doing better. And I have to say, every time that wanker gets into power, our economy does better. Because we are kind of isolated from the rest of the world. So we do pick up a bit. I do believe we're selling a lot of stuff to Canada that we didn't used to. Because, you know, Canadians don't like buying from their southern cousins anymore. They want to buy from the even more southern cousins. Melbourne says, Ferromario, yes, F11 works for us as well. Yeah, it does. All the keys work. It is getting a little bit slideshowy at times. You can see the frames are a little bit jaggy on the Xbox. Might help. I had a book on top of it. I think it might have been overheating. The air coming out of it's like a room heater. I shouldn't put books on top of them. Okay. It's better now. It's just a little bit blurry, isn't it? Well, cool. Paro in Netherlands, so the price of this route is high due to more assets. Yeah, according to Dovetail. They did do a lot of work on this. So yes, there would be prices. Let's try that camera, would be better. I think I kind of have decided they're storks, not pelicans. Wrong kind of beak for a pelican. 5Ks to Assen. We don't run into trees all the time. We can run into storks instead. Should speed up a little bit. I'm allowed to. C says, thank you, Bad Guy. I'm useless for that kind of stuff. Matthew Dunkley says, evening. How are you, mate? Bad Guy says, so am I. I usually try to tend to avoid the business mobile jumbo and just read the game of focus parts, if that makes any sense. Business mumbo jumbo is pretty much just that. I was actually seriously considering applying to the board of the organisation I work for, because they're spilling the board this year. And I was like, no, I might make that a retirement gig. Because it'd be a different angle on the business. No deliverables. No deliverables! That'd be cool. Bad Guy says, it's funny you call him an orange leprechaun, because I was watching a video where someone called him the orange Palpatine. Yeah, Paris is great mention on Tramp. He's a weird individual. I get what's influenced him in some cases. I just don't agree with his outcomes. Just slow him down to 80. Because we're not far out of Assen. Or Essen. What is it? Is it Assen or Essen? I can come off the brakes, not more brakes. I always do that with the controller. I put the brakes on harder. I mean to accelerate. Because I'm silly. Ooh, the frame rate's dropped a bit here, hasn't it? Mid-30s. So it was like a rock on the PC. It just sat on about 58, 59, 60 the whole time. I have it capped at 60. PC can do a lot more than that. Ooh, that signal's just a touch hard to read. 60 we want to get down to. It's a Koploper. Ah, missed it. It's too late. C says, yeah, it does make sense. I just read the dovetail, the new will, and so on. The link surely has to mean TSW6. Well, who knows? I'll read it. Not now. I'll talk about it tomorrow night's stream. Thinking of stuff that's coming out, Little Kitty Big City, it's got a sequel. It's not out yet, but it's coming out. I've asked for a key. If I don't get one, I'll just buy it. Because I love that game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching Assen. If you are leaving us here, we thank you for riding on NS. This train sounds kind of like a vacuum cleaner. The first time I drove it, I thought someone had started cleaning the carpet around me. But no, it's the train. This station's kind of cool. It's an architectural thing. I like it. Coming into us, and we'll do a quick run around here for collectibles as well. Let's see what we can find, if anything. Certainly see a few people around. Doors open, jump up. Oh, let's go out through the passenger space this time. Hello people, how are you? Off we go. See what we can find here. Snack and dash. Pity it's empty. Newspaper man, nothing collectible though. Ding from the train, nothing collectible in... Oops. Route map. Wasn't that already there though? Oh, I'm just dreaming. Okay, so we found a route map. I think we ran in here before, didn't we? On the Koploper. So why don't we go over the other side then? Can't use the lift, it doesn't work. Stuck. Stuck. Don't try and go between the bollards, doesn't work. That just goes back where we came from. Out of order. I like it. Put cones in front of it. Well, we forgot to do one. What do we do? Dump a couple of cones there. What about you? Do you work? Well, that one works. Alright, what do we find up here for collectibles? Anything? It's not looking promising. I don't see much up here. I can see something on the ground up there, but I just think it's that person's bag. Yes, it is. So we've got bikes and route maps so far. Excuse me, Chief, don't ride on the platform. Is that the shortest shorts in Train Sim World? I think it might be. No, don't want to give it up. We're looking. We're looking. Collectible pigeons, maybe? Yeah, not really seeing anything up there. Let's have a quick run onto that outside bit and see what we can see there. Bad guy says he doesn't really like Canada. He's kind of made that clear. I think he would like Canada, actually, but he likes Canada. He wants to be a golf club. Just a giant golf club. Be an awesome bloody golf club, to be honest. Such a beautiful place. If you've never had an opportunity to visit Canada, please do. It's quite magnificent. Can't get out here anyway. So, I don't know. That would have been a good spot to hide a collectible, but no. No, I don't know. Well, back to our train. It's up here, I think. If I remember rightly. No, it's not. It's over there. Alright, we'll go up this side and run over there. What's this? What's this? What's this? Is that collectible? No, it's just rubbish. That's just... That's rubbish. It is rubbish. Can't pick it up, though. No, let's jump on the train anyway. time to go. Yeah, I know, mate. We're holding you up, I know. Can't drive. We'll leave the door open. They won't come in here, surely. Bad guy says, what Canada still honours its king as the head of state? Well, some of Canada does. One side. It's the Orange Palpatine's trade war that he started. We're going back to our European roots to help our economy out. It's a good plan. And trade with Australia. We like it. And of course, Europe and most of Australia and all other parts of the country all need oil, and Canada does well power in that. We're actually pretty self-sufficient for oil, to be honest. I know our politicians get the oil companies to import stuff here, but we don't need to. We export more than we import. Go figure. How does that work? We send ours out and bring back oil from somewhere else. It's just bizarre, but anyway. Yeah, I think 64, 68, something like that with the yards. Chocky says the train sounds so good. It does. The Civity sounds very good. Power Netherlands. Essen is in Germany. Okay, so it's Essen. Very good. Thank you. Matthew says we really need a NA and an Aussie route. I don't think they'd ever make narrow gauge steam because there's a bit of local appeal for it. There wouldn't be a lot of global appeal for it, I don't think. So I don't think they'd do it. I must set my external camera to be the free roam camera. Then I wouldn't have to use the keyboard. C says, woo, I was right for once, because Gav confirmed he's 64 miles. Bad guy says you've hit the nail on the head there. Yep. Chocky says if you're leaving us here, get your asses off the train. Indeed. TSD pronounced arson according to Wikipedia. Arson. Like that. Yeah, it's like that guy. Just grab him on the arson. This is the station with the man with the walking stick. He's around in a couple of places. Try and get... Oops. Well, that kind of worked. Oops. Dead man. Off we go to Beelin. Beelin. Be along. Be alert. Be a lumberjack. Oh, we've got Canada again. Be a lumberjack. Gab says, dear passengers, your driver is holding you here so you can find his collectibles. If you want to go on further, please go and get the local bus service or a bike from the bike rack or ask Bad Guy. That's true. C says, I do think TSW is improving more with every route. I think there's a lot more care being taken with scenery these days, and they've got a lot more assets to play with, and they're a lot better at it. I think that's definitely true. And I'm highly appreciative of it as well. I'm an idiot. Good at it. I forgot to turn off that bloody dot. Is there a control key for the dot? I don't think there is. Maybe there is. 4? 3? No, it's neither of those. Oh, wrong keyboard. 3? No. 4? No. Got to be careful typing things on the other keyboard because they go into OBS. OBS might do something silly, like end the stream. That'd be bad. 9Ks to Beelin. Go a little bit faster. Gav says, and thanks for riding NS. Bad Guy says, I was lucky enough to be born and raised here. Absolutely love it. Cool. It is, Canada is really a highly beautiful place. So if you've never had the opportunity, don't get ripped off and ride the Rocky Mountain crap train ride thing. It's stupid. Get in a car. Go and look. It's just magnificent. When I visited Toronto. It was the first time I'd ever been to a city in the snow. That was just magic. And being an Aussie goes, you know, there's a river there. I need to go and walk on it. So I did. And I got told later that was stupid because it was probably very thin. But, I walked across the river. It made me happy. I had my Jesus moment. It was all good. Jockey says 8 minutes late. Yeah, probably. There might be collectibles, see, I just don't know what they are. And this isn't the release build, it's the early access one, but when you get early access this close to release, it usually is the release build, it's the same. It's only earlier in its life cycle they're different. It's much easier to control this train than the Koploper, but they're both pretty easy. This one's just very easy, the other one's mostly easy. Does it do diesel mode? That's an interesting question. You know what we should do? When we get to Berlin, let's go for a wander and see if we can find an exhaust pipe. Because if we can find an exhaust pipe, so we can do it now, can't we? Not really seeing anything that looks like an exhaust pipe. That's not in this unit. I suppose it's possible that could be. Looks more like an air cooler though. When we get to Berlin, if someone wants to translate what this thing's saying, we can have a look at the options and see, but I don't see anything really obvious. Should pay attention to my speed a little more. Bad guy says, you know, we never understood that, like here with garlic, we grow more garlic and we could possibly do it, yet we import a whole bunch of it from China. Go figure. Yeah, same here. We have massive crops of garlic, onions, spring onions, all kinds of onions, shallots, you name it, but we import stuff. It's crazy. Weirdly, I think Aldi sell more Australian produce than our own local big supermarkets. That's just weird. Scenery's pretty decent on the Xbox. Oh, was that well timed or what? But it's certainly blurrier, let's put it that way. Oops, brakes, lots of brakes. No, not that brake. Well, maybe that brake actually. I think we will use that brake. Yeah, I think we might just pull this off. Saw another bike there. I think I just pulled off the save of the universe. Pretty happy with that save, but let's get the brakes out of emergency so they can recharge. And... oops. What do we got? We saw a bike back here. Hang on, there's a gap. No, can't go out there. Did appreciate the bush noise when I tried to push through the bush though. Alright, there's the bicycle. There's nothing else in there. They must be collected somewhere. All in one place. What have we got here? Can't go out there. Why make these nice places? Oh, I can go through the garden. Great. Why make these nice places and you can't get into them? That's disappointing. That's another bicycle. There's a route map. What's over there? Can I go this way? No. Can I go into the bicycles? No. Let's fix this bicycle while we're here. Ah, look. Look. There's a windmill. Ta-da! So there's only 8 windmills. That explains it. There's not as many collectibles on this route. Alrighty, let's jump back in the train. We'll use the Control 0 should work on the Xbox. It does. Good. Let's get the doors closed. Start brakes releasing. Shocky says, wow, that sounded like a 700 going past then. Parallels good info on the game what collectibles are. So we've only got one more to find. Melbourne Train Guy says, I believe they're buying it. Bad Guy says, gave. So could you switch back to PC right quick? At the end of this run we will. We'll pop back to PC. C says, I'm glad Nightbot like still works. Yeah, we're getting there. Lord Dampnut says, during the DTG stream, halfway down they could hear a diesel engine. It could have been the shunter loco in a yard. Probably was, because there's the G6. The G6 represents another loco. The G6s don't actually operate in the Netherlands at all. But it's representing some similar shaped sort of thing. And it's under the guise, I think that a lot of people complained with New York Trenton, and they complained with a couple of the English ones that because they didn't have those trains, they'd rather get something else that represented it. So that's been happening lately, which is good to see. Feedback listened to. Koploper. Well, that hit me in the face pretty hard. Smacked in the face with a Koploper. Which translates from something like walk through head. Something like that. Chocky says, what's the name of the train? It is an SNG3 and its family is Civity. Bad Guy says, you ever come to Canada again? Come to Pacific Northwest if you want to see beautiful. Yeah, Toronto is nice, but it's mostly all concrete. If you want to see mountains and just absolute beautifulness. Oh, absolutely. When I was in Toronto, I went up in a friend's light plane, and the sky was pretty dark. And he goes, no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So we go up in the light plane, we go in the light plane, this massive snowstorm starts, and he wasn't cleared for IFR, so we had to get back on the ground really quickly. That was fun. And you could tell he was Canadian because everything was, okay, eh? That was the end of every sentence, okay. Pacific Northwest is a magnificent spot. Even inside America it's magnificent. We'll go there. It's also got a very rich logging rail history. So if you do visit the Pacific Northwest, either in US or Canada, and even extending northwards, keep going further into Alaska, definitely have a look at the remnants, because there's some amazing stuff up there that you can go and visit. Funnily enough, I am a little partial to a heritage railway. Just a little bit. Chocky says that must have been AI only because it's going in the other direction. Yeah, they only go the other way in the timetable, I think, but there's quite a few AIs. It's not the busiest thing in the world. Melbourne says, what was that cart? I think isn't the cart a wheelchair ramp? See, I'm going to see the other loco for this route if I get a chance. Well, there's the Vectron and the G6. I'm not going to show you the Vectron because I don't know if we're supposed to or not. It's the Frankfurt Fulda Vectron, but it's got changes for this route to run ATB. and they didn't stream it this morning, so I'm not sure if I should show it. Hello, Florian. How are you? We will pop back and have a look at another look at the Koploper C as well. Melbourne said TSD Canadians, okay, Australians, yeah, nah. Or actually, we're rooted in that. It's like, yeah, nah, fuck. Bad Guy says, I remember about 10 years ago, I went up in a Cessna from the 50s, probably 53, I'm guessing. It was a windy day. Trust me, I'll never do that again. The turbulence of that thing was making it creak. They're an interesting plane, the Cessna. They're basically a floating camper van. They're not much stronger than that. But they are fun. You need to be with someone who's knows what they're doing, though. Damn, that's a lake. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Can you believe, Bad Guy? I've caught up with the chat. Chocky says the Vectron is out now anyways, might as well show us. No, but I don't know if the ATB function of the Vectron is out. I don't think it is, but I've got it. So I'm not going to, I don't want to show it because they didn't show it this morning. So I don't want to show how it drives. I mean, it's just the Frankfurt Fulda Vectron. It's the red Vectron. So that's what you should expect looking at it. I just don't want to put you in the cab because I don't know if I'm supposed to show it or not. Bad Guy says they've turned a lot of older gold mines into tourist attractions. You can actually walk through the mines, of course. You need to have a guided tour. I've done one. They're actually quite fun. They are good. Yeah, we've got a couple of those here. There's still some active gold mines in Australia that you can go and visit too. We still suck quite a lot out of the ground. No worries, see? Lord Dampnut says the Cessna has the best glide ratio. It will glide smoothly right to the crash site. Unlike the 747, which glides a lot like a brick. We should probably stop. I'm going to go back to the safe break. I'm going to Nebworth this one, get that command ready. We're going... Ooh, there's something there. There was something there lying on the ground. We're going back to look. Oh, maybe we're not going to Nebworth it. Maybe we're going to have some carriages in the platform. I think we are. I think we are. Impressive. Did I open doors? No, I didn't. Opening the doors would be a good plan. Alright, let's go back and have a look. There was something on that platform. Maybe not here. There's a platform here by the toilet. There's rubbish there. There's something there. It's just some... No, it's just some cans. Are the Dutch really that messy? Wonder how many people went off and bought it and are now playing this. Let me know if you have. What's that? A bit more rubbish? It's a window. I don't think these carts do anything, they're just disabled ramps. Lift work? This is a non-working lift by the looks of it. I don't see anything interesting up there. Maybe on the other side. Look, there's plants going through the wall. It's kind of cool. Ah, it even smells like urine. Who said that? That one's not a working one. It's stuck on the wall. I ran up the metalwork. That's interesting. Don't know. What's that? Rubbish. There's a route map. There's a toilet. Maybe the toilet's a collectible. Can we go in? No. No, I don't want to give up my train. Go away. Stop asking me that. Well, we don't know what the fourth collectible is yet. I know there is one. And yes, I know they said it on the stream this morning, but like I said, I was busy banning some emoticon little individual that was just spamming the chat with emoticons. You're out of here. I only give him a 5-minute timeout, but he got the hint. Off we go again. Bad guy says, no, that's not possible. People need to talk more. So the ATB update is still pending for the Vectron. The route is really nice, and the feedback from locals on the forums are particularly good. Yeah, the Vectron in this build has got ATB. That's why I don't want to show it. Because if Dovetail wanted it shown, they would have shown it this morning. So I'm possibly a version ahead of what's delivering. Yeah, it was pretty good from the locals. There was the occasional person, I know the caternary's wrong in a few places, but there was the occasional person who was dropping a few things that stuff was wrong, but the majority of the feedback was that it looked really good. They were really happy with it, so that's awesome. That's a good result for a new country. It's actually quite impressive. Lord Dampnut said, not this fella because it's a few hours away on PC. Yeah, we see in the PC world you do get the luxury of 160 FPS. Not getting that in a console. It's a little bit slideshowy through that crossing there. It was. Now, coming out, I think I'm going to say the 29th, and I think I'm going to say I might stream it the day before, but I've got to check my calendar. Make sure it's right. Actually, I won't be streaming it because it's too hard, but the Trendsim World VR thing. So I'll put some videos up of it. I won't say or show anything about it till the embargo lifts, but I've been in the beta for it for good 8 months now, and it's come a long way. I honestly don't know what people will think of it, so we'll see. I'll be curious. On our way to Meppel. Bad guy said, for a second I thought you were talking about the McDonald's bathroom. They're very interesting where I live. It's Needle Central. Melbourne says it might just be the 3. No, I actually thought there was a 4th collectible for this route. Maybe it is only 3, but I thought there was a 4th. Drugbia, good morning. How are you? It's sort of good night here because it's 9:48 p.m. Lord Dampner says, honestly, I don't mind dropping early in the morning and get a good night's sleep. Yeah, indeed. Have some fun. I find when I get into a new route, I don't like doing it at this end of the day because you get tired, you're frustrated, you don't have a good experience when you're trying to learn new stuff. You get into it earlier in the day, you'll probably have more fun. And that'll set the scene for the route. So if you try it when you're tired, you might hate that route forever and it probably doesn't deserve it. Got a bit quick. Fixed it. I noticed the LODs are right on the trellis posts here, which they're not on PC. Just looking at it in 4K to see if it's rendering there. Seems to be. Yeah, so they got that a bit better. I think it's looking at the 4K screen, which you guys can't see. It's over here. Actually, no, that won't work. I was going to point the camera at it, but it looks for humans. It looks a little more gamey on the Xbox than it does on PC. But on the Xbox driving the 4K screen, I'm only running 100% because I can't go more than that or get a decent frame rate. Whereas on the PC, I run at 200% and I still get a decent frame rate. So 200% means it's rendering at 8K and coming down to what I stream it at. Lob Nut says, so I have talked about that. Bad Guy says, actually, my Sega Mega Drive copy of TFW runs at 200 frames a second. I'm not telling you later. Yeah. I like your style, Bad Guy. And I do miss the Sega. That console only had one cool thing, and that really cool thing was when you turned it on, it went, wow, Sega. That was the only cool thing about that console. The rest of it was crap. Anybody that owned a Sega Mega Drive was usually sad that they didn't buy something else. Sonic was okay, though. C says, another new happening with TSC, like different routes for subscription. Yeah, they've got a subscription model. See, they've had that for about, it's probably going on a year now, and Jamie chooses a bunch of routes, and each year that's what comes out in the subscription, and you can play them for that month, and then they vanish again unless you buy them. You can always elect to buy one or more of the routes that are in there, and then they'll stay. It's an interesting model. I have a faint suspicion if it's successful, and given it's been going for a year, it probably is a bit successful, I guess, or they wouldn't bother. I would expect it to come to TSW as well, which could, and it would be, I suspect if they did that, it would be the same as it is in TSC. It's an optional thing that you can choose to do. It's a different way to get into the game. So I think for a new player, that'd be a good thing, because now there's, well, I think there's something like £600 worth, so about close to 1,500 Australian dollars worth of DLC for this game now. So if you're coming in as a player now and you want to have a wide selection for funness, shall we say, a subscription model might be a good way to get into it. For an existing player that's got a lot of DLC, it's not a good thing to swap to, I don't think. I'd never do it. That said, I buy most of my software on subscription, the stuff that I pay for. I don't own many individual pieces of software anymore. I haven't for a while. Coming up on Meppel very shortly. Bad Guy says, thanks, sir. Thanks, you. Gabe says, I've got given a Sega Master System 2 when I was younger. It's cool. When you're young, anything's good. C says, I did pay for the sub, but I got bored. Yeah, Train Sim Classic is a different beast. So if you just play the scenarios that come with it, I don't think you can get your money's worth out of it. If it supports quick drive, you can get a lot more runs out of it that way, which can be quite good. Often the quick drive scenarios are reasonably well built. But the real good thing about TSC is the scenarios you can make. And the stuff on Workshop, there's so many scenarios in Workshop, and you can get your money's worth out of a route by doing those sorts of things. And some of the stuff on TSC is really cool. It's really bespoke. You're never going to see it in Train Sim World. Things like Clear Creek on the narrow gauge. That's never going to come out in Train Sim World because hardly anybody would buy it. But it got, what, three of the route and 3 DLC, I think. It's funny seeing how much taller the Koploper is to the SNG. I'm just teasing ATB. Don't mind me. Personal amusement factor. C says, I guess that will be announced when TSW6 does. You don't give up very easily. And don't give up, I mean. I like the reflections on the glass. I know it's a bit polarizing. Some people don't like them, but I actually do like them. Oh, those signals suddenly went green. We must have got the next part of our path. Bad Guy says, knowing the prices of TSW routes nowadays, a $15 a month subscription, especially for newer stuff, I'd be all for, because it's really hard to budget for the prices nowadays. It is. No, I definitely agree with that. I am very privileged in that I get these keys for nothing in return for making tutorials and doing content like this and streams and things. I get that. I get how much it would cost because I used to buy all the routes. Some I'd wait for a sale and some I'd pick up when they came out, and it, you know, it's difficult. It's a lot of money. I get it. Oh, actually, it's near the end of the month, isn't it? Members giveaway coming up. If you're thinking of that, if you're a member of the channel, I will be giving away to a random draw out of the member list on the day that I do the draw. I'll do the draw live on stream, of course. And I will be giving away a game or DLC of the person's choice, which may take the form of a gift card for their platform. So if you're into Roblox, for example, I might give you a gift card for Robux. PlayStation would have to be a gift card because you can't give people games. Xbox, I can give people a game. Epic and Steam, I can give people games. Or gift card if they want that. So I'll be doing that as a member's benefit because I'm just cognizant that I'm a little bit lazy in supporting my members, and I just think it's a cool thing to do. So I did do the public giveaway as well. What's that under the stairs there? No, it's just more rubbish. Well, let's have a look at this station. We haven't, have we? Let's do that. Why not? Let's have a quick look. No, don't be. Stop it. Because I think at the very least, we need to go up the really high stairs. Whee! Oh, that's a low barrier. Whee! It feels like you're going to fall off. Tiny. Oh, I can't go down there. Oh no! Koploper. I think the Koploper might be leaving. Let's watch it go. I know what the other collectible is. I can see it. We'll go there as soon as the Koploper goes. Well, Dampnable mode says timetable mode in TSW is the killer feature for me. Spent a whole day just running back and forth on a route. Yeah, it makes a big difference. I'd love it to be a little more task-oriented. Ta-da! There's the fourth one. I knew we'd find it. Hey, that Koploper didn't go very far, did it? Oh, well. Let's get back in our train. We know what they are now. I'm happy. Getting through... Oh, do have red lights on the back. Just walked into the back of the train. It's clever. Love it. Gav's Photography said, especially with the area manager of Sega Australia. It's pretty good. It's nice to get little things like that sometimes. Did you know them or something? Right, door's shut. And away we go. Lord Dampnut says those reflections are about 10 FPS right there. I don't know that they're that bad, to be honest. They do cost frames, but not huge amounts. C says, I'm not giving up the TSD idea. I'm always wrong anyways, but I'm positive I ain't. What's happened for the last 3 years? In September. 2, 3, 4, 5. The official word is, it's not a thing. It's a civity waiting for the Koploper to get out of the way. Actually, I'm curious. Let's just stop. Let's get into the map. The other way, I think. Oh no, there's trains moving. There are lots of trains moving, so I'm just curious if they're all getting stuck or something. But I don't think so. Can't power yet. Now I can power. Holy Trucker says, can you turn off the layers on mild may not drop gospel oak? What layers would affect? You can turn off any layers you want. If it's gospel oak. It's probably not a train, it's probably an asset, I would think. Holy Trucker says this one is boring, looks nice though. Trucker says nothing around gospel, but Goblin 710 is not boring, it's long route, it's not for everyone, but it's not boring. Yeah, look, if this isn't your thing, if you're not a long route kind of person, you could find this one less interesting, shall we say. But that's just it. It's different people for different things. And that's, you know, it's just the way it is. Melbourne Train Guy says, Trucker, disable the layers for the mainline underpass. That helps. It does look nice. It's not really swampland, it's drained, and it's quite possibly man-made in this area, because it is almost dead flat. So it is very, very flat. And we hear lots of pigeons. We'll pop back onto PC and do a quick part of a guards run on one of these. I haven't done it, so we'll have to figure out how. That's fine. We'll get there. Chucky says, a tree like NTP. Yeah, they had trees, didn't they? Uberk says, I would imagine rail singing is the singing noise of the train wheels on the railheads, especially when the railheads are being treated to remove irregularities. They have significant singing noise. Yeah, there's the... Oops, going quick. There's the rail, and when you've got overhead equipment. Then, I mentioned I killed my profile. When you've got overhead catenary, that makes noise too. 18 kilometers to Zwolle. It's the long last push on the Xbox. Then we'll go back to the PC and do a guard run. The only reason I wouldn't try a guard run on the console is I'm not good at putting the console's cursor exactly where it needs to be, and you have to be pretty good at that to do a guards run. So it would be really tedious. Yeah, rail singing is the term, Lord Dampnut, but you hear the catenary go as well. Bad imitation, but there you go. It's a good thing I'd already slowed down to 130, isn't it? 17 Ks to Zwolle. We'll be there pretty quickly. Melbourne Train Guy says you can't see them anyway unless you're at the right time of day and in the external cam. Yeah, that's the trains on the some of the other routes around Mildmay. I don't get any really significant train drops around Mildmay, so you reckon you're getting them around Gospel Oak? It's a bit weird. Holy Trucker says, I think that's what would be happening, just randomly drop out every time. Go and walk around the station, because if you're getting good frame rates while you're walking around the station, then it's probably not an asset in the route. It probably is something else like a train interfering with it. So you could give that a try. I wish those cranes animated. Such a simple thing, and we've waited so many years for it, but that's okay. We will survive. Fino said, I remember years ago getting on a train from Belgium to Holland, went in the toilet, you could see the track whizzing past, just a hole in the bottom of the toilet. Yeah, that didn't go away until all that... It wasn't that long ago that it went away in a lot of trains. And some of our country trains were like that until... Yeah, it probably was the 90s, you know, until they all got tanks installed. Would have loved to work on track. Oh, I've discovered what's wrong with the signalling system. It's got a turd in it. Grouse. That'd be so enjoyable. Actually, in this part of the route, I'm seeing the left-hand quaternary poles doing what the PC version did. So I think their LOD's a bit wrong on the vertical parts, because they're loading in a bit late. C says exactly my thoughts. It's going to happen whether I continue my journey with 266, who knows. But I think one day, C, if you just sit down at the machine, start the game, and play, I reckon you'll find you'll drop back into it. It's been a little while. You've had a break. I know you got very frustrated, so don't play the route that got you really frustrated, or you'll just get frustrated again. But maybe uninstall that one. The one that gave you the shits. Get rid of it, so it can't give you the shits again. And go back, and you might find that you'll enjoy the stuff that you used to enjoy. Lots of stuff. Always the mysterious rolls of steel. I thought there was a plane flying overhead, and then I realised it was the windmill. Don't mind me. Never said I'm clever. Back up to full beans. Looked at, I've said, Matt said the rail singing never worked and that Mildmay Dev didn't get the memo and was using it or something. Yeah, they were. But it does seem to work. The game has actually had it since the first version. It's just not been turned on in routes. You can turn it on in the editor yourself if you want to. I think God Mode can turn it on too. It's one of the attributes. There's an interesting shadow flying along the side beside us there. Jockey says Matt was on about Game Feature and something about TSW6, and he said, no, we're on TSW5, not TSW6 yet. If that was on a stream, get me a link to the time slot. I want it. I'd enjoy that. Fino says the sign said do not use in stations. Yes. You weren't allowed to crap in the stations. Because, you know, it's a bit smelly for the other people waiting for the next train. Newberg says it's flat as a pancake. It is, because the Netherlands is, a lot of it is man-made land. It's reclaimed. It's pulled up from the sea. So yeah, it's pretty flat. Kind of clever, really, when you think about the engineering behind making a country. Not making a little peninsula or something. I mean, lots of places have done that. But making what is basically a whole, almost a whole country out of nothing. It's kind of impressive. Holy Trucker says, you got to admit this does look like Dovetail's work. It looks too good. It is definitely Dovetail's work. And I know people like to crap on about Rivet and things like that, but the reality is the subcontractors that you're familiar with in the game work on everything. It's just the way it is. Sometimes they do their own stuff, sometimes they work for someone else. Uberk says a corner of Holland has hills. Yeah, there are natural bits. But the dead flat bits, man-made. Or at least dried. C says, one thing for sure, I'd love to have more Welsh routes, and I did spot your subtle hint, C, that you would like a copy of the Welsh route. Holy Trucker, do you really think it is this route cooking your PC? Well, right now it's not, because I'm actually running on an Xbox. It was making the Xbox really hot, but I had a book on it, so my frame rate started to dip, and I looked over because I could hear the fan going through the headphones, and it's like, oh, yeah, there's a book on it. As soon as I took the book off, frame rate went back to normal, and it was fine. Stopped screaming. But the PC, it is driving the GPU pretty hard, this one. GPU and CPU. Not monstrously, but harder than other games. C says, incoming train sound reminds me of TSC. Yeah, some routes have train rail singing. Some do it better than others. Just made the gratuitous bridge shot. Bit of luck there. We saw some arcing on the pantograph there just before I switched back in. Nice to see. $5Ks to Zwolle, and then we'll switch back to the PC and do a spot of guarding in an SNG 3. Flano says, lol, Uberk. Big wings on those wind turbines. Yeah, they are. That's basically what they are. They're, it's kind of a helicopter. Holy Trucker says, play it and breathes new life into the game. I feel I live it now. Do you know, I still haven't done that, even though I've got the helmet. I have not had time. I've got the mod, got it all ready to go, just haven't had time. One day. One day I will. Driven 100 Ks. Woo! Is that exciting enough? Bad Guy says Rapid Transit still has to be one of the best routes made in the game. I know it's old along with GWE. Yeah, Rapid Transit, actually, now that the train's been updated, is actually pretty good. I'm with you on that one. Don't mind it at all. Bad Guy says if you kept that book on there too much longer, you would have had yourself a barbecue. Yeah, probably, in a fire brigade. What happened? Oh, Transit World set my Xbox on fire. That'd be good, wouldn't it? $2.5Ks to Zwolle. Why don't they get stalks on those antennas? Thought they would. Kensuka, hello, how are you? Bing, down to 60 Ks. Just drop down there so you can see the numbers lighting up. A lot of graffiti on that wall to our right. A lot of boring graffiti. Very dull. Holy Trucker says you might want to run the feather duster lightly over the back of your PC. It may not be getting enough air. Oh, it's getting plenty of air. It's a very highly breathing case. It has push-pull fans. It's got water cooling that's also pulling hot air out of the case. Oops, brakes, brakes, brakes. So I'm not concerned with airflow with the PC. And the game's still running in the main screen menu behind the scenes, and CPU's sitting on 39. GPU, if I see the little display in there, is 46. So that's all right. I'm okay, Kenjitsuka. I'd be really happy if my cough went away, but that's... Actually, it's not been too bad the last couple of hours. It's been all right, but I did suck on my pupper before I started the stream. It just took a little while to do anything useful. So rolling into Zwolle, and then we'll change back from Xbox to PC, and we will do a bit of a guard mode run in the SNG3. We probably won't go the whole distance, but do a bit, because it is 10:15 at night here, and it is a work day tomorrow, and I have a delightful meeting at 8 AM. Great. Really good. Really happy to have a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Thanks, team. I mean, I do start work at 8, but, you know, doesn't mean I want to have a meeting. Train spotter Jaden says this train has to turn around in Zwolle in 1 minute. Oh well, drivers will work hard, won't they? Let's not run into the buffers, TST. That would suck. One last attempt at the dead man to get me. Misses. Righto. That's it for the Xbox run. So I suppose I'll just leave that run. We'll see what the metal was like. Could open the doors, that would help. Holy Trucker says, you scared me to buy this route. I play it in VR. It means it works even harder to run it in VR. It might explode. I don't know. In VR, it might actually work less hard, to be honest, because you can't see as far. So it might be a little bit better in some respects. Kenjitsuka. Uberk says, I'm not a fan of the short turnaround time on the route. Yeah, I found that when I was doing my tutorials that I was barely getting through it in time if I was playing as a shift type thing and had to do a change ends. So if we went back into free roam now. Anyway, let's get out of there. Oops, wrong button. Let's get out of there on the Xbox. Just put that back to the main menu. And I will coax the... Come on. That one. Right. That'll pause the game and stop my Xbox from catching fire. So I'll just put OBS back where it belongs and switch scenes. So we're back on the PC. Kill the Xbox. Kill the Xbox sound. Right. Good. Back on PC. Main menu. Feels good to be back. I know about the Gronk. We might do a quick... We'll do a quick Gronk before we do the... guards mode. You know what else we have to do, don't you? You just have to. See you later, Kenjitsuka. There's two things we have to do. You got it, Melbourne train guy. You realise what kind of Gronk we're putting on, don't you? I think we should put him in the dead end. 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 Actually, you know we might put on there? Run an 09. I haven't run an 09 for so long. That's our Gronk. This one? Has to be done. Thomas goes to buy cookies. Do the Gronk first. We're not going to drive it far, clearly. Can I do something funny? Can I go from there to there, for example? No. What about there? No. It's not that clever, is it? Alright, we'll take the Gronk to... How about there? Yep, take the Gronk there. Why not? Master switch is on. Reverse. Oh, this one works with rail driver. That's good. Alright. Reverse and power is on. Off we go in the little Gronk. Thought I'd use this one because we haven't used the 09 in so long. It's a pretty little Gronk. Full speed on the Gronk. Almost reached 30, 31, 32, 33. Holy Trucker says, you know, Dovetail doing a preview of the TSW VR release. You can't really stream from the helmet. I know Meta like to say you can, but it's like 6 frames a second. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Alright, that's it for the Gronk. Because now we've got to go back to Thomas and we're going to have to run there. Actually, I'm being an idiot. Let's drive the Gronk back there. Why would I run? Let's take the Gronk back. We'll always spawn another Thomas, I suppose. Oops. Need to set a path. I'll put the Gronk back next to Thomas. There you go. Your Gronk fixation is satisfied now. The turnaround times are short, Jaden. You've got to work on it. And that's quite realistic, because you see on our local route, the train comes in and within a minute and a half it's going out again with the same driver. And they have to change ends at that time. Send a Gronk to space. Poor Gronk. Tell you what we'll do then. Gronk go boom. Bang. Replay. Cap Pepe, hello. Looks like a nice route. Stand back and my attention on Wales trial. Who knows? Microsoft might have a sale there. No? Alright. We gotta do it. We have to do a quick Thomas run, and then we'll do a guards run. So let's do some troublesome trucks with Thomas. No, we can't put it there. We can't put it there. Go back up into the dead end then. Can we put it here? We'll try this one over here. I haven't used this track. Put it there, but I want it the other way around. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's time for me to go to bed, but you know, some things have to be done. Dumbass! Oops, fell in the hole. Rail driver doesn't work with Thomas. Should have expected that. Bye, Thomas. Have fun with your red signal. You're about to die. Thomas gets spanked. Alrighty, let's do a guards run. Part of it, anyway. Alrighty, Lord Dampnut is running away. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for dropping in, and appreciate you for sure. Appreciate all the people that drop stuff into the chat, by the way, and even the ones who just watch. Absolutely appreciate everybody, because it's just cool to have people around who enjoy the same things that I do. And as you've probably gotten the idea, I have no issue with what people talk about. Right. Yeah. Zwolle bewildered. Okay. I did that kind of deliberately. But anyway, all good. Conductor mode. Now we've got to try and figure this out. C wants GSMR more accessible. Bad guy says, I wonder how many grunks you can line up that have the gronk pull the gronks. How many grunks can you say in one sentence? I guess we need to open the door. No, the door's already open. So how do we do this then? Card key? Damn it, I was muted. I was muted. That was silly. Is that a different panel? No. Check the platform is gear. Lock the passenger doors. How do I lock them all? Get off the platform. It says it has to be clear. So putting the key in, it closes the doors. Bye. But I've locked the passenger doors. See, they're locked. What do you want from me, game? we supposed to be open this panel or something, maybe? One up there? No? New drum. I don't know what it wants. Okay, it wanted that. Fair. It's going to be a fun night if I start coughing now. I don't have any tickets to check because no one got in. Not a sausage. Well, just go and skive off in the toilet then. No, we can't. Back to first class. Where we sit? There? Why not? Going to Meppel. 6:41. We sit here for 20 minutes and do nothing. What? I don't think we're doing that. Hello, Amy. I am near the end of my stream. You're absolutely right. Bad Guy says, I'll give Dovetail some credit as much as I've hated on the Thomas thing. It does look really good. Thomas is fun. Thomas is just fun. Just because I wanted to, indeed. Fair enough, see? It's what the commands are for. And adding mini cats, why not? Yeah, I'm not sure if driver opens and you close, but I think maybe the second press of the button closed the other doors. I don't know. Something weird. I don't know. C says key in closes doors apart from local door. You close the local door, then the train goes. Kind of what was meant to happen, I think. Previous comment is what matters done. Matt. We'll send you a wily coyote to help you. He's a certified genius after all. I'm a pretty good coyote myself. Just while this is doing this, I'm going to pop out to the Discord because I want to look at this article that you guys were talking about. Let's have a look. Where was it? Private message? No? Just in the Discord somewhere, maybe? It's not in the TSW channel. Earning call presentation. Just flicking through the report that was well, they've had a good year. So that presentation didn't really give me anything of a TSW6 flavour, but let's look at the report. This is an old report. This mentions TSW4. I'm looking at the focus report that I think Chucky sent me. So I think you're stretching it to say anything in here is TSW6. So back to paying attention to you guys. Get off. Nothing slows her down. Butt brake. Uncoupled. How about dropping pantographs? Can I drop your pantographs down? Circuit breaker? Nothing really stops her. Set on ATB and see if that stops her. Climb out the window. Can't even do that. Can't even sit in this chair. What's going on there? Nothing stops an AI. And so, any of these do anything? No. Let me off. Let's have a look at the uniform. Look at the uniform in photo mode. Maybe. Where are we? Where's she? Up there. See if we can get up here and look at the uniform. Weird. Just when you think you figured out photo mode, weird things happen. Why does the microphone move? Can't get in focus. I'm probably too close to her. There you go. That'd be the uniform anyway. I'll focus it out here. That's fine. Look, we captured a Koploper. No AI driver in the wrong place. That's good. Nor in that one. Also good. Just luck that we got a Koploper there. Why is the fan going round? Bad fan. You know, I have to just to see if anyone notices. Come on, do it. Oh, well, I think that's probably it for tonight's stream anyway. Let's just have a quick run through comments. Continue. Paul said you were Zwolle Cody. We talked about that. And sky looks good. It does. The sky looks very nice at this time of the morning. Bad guy says I could fall asleep just listening to that train. I'm probably about to. C says clocks go forward this Sunday back to 11:30 p.m. streams. Ours go back. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. So midnight streams, mate. Bad guy says, yeah, it was TSW under new releases, which gave me the impression they're probably hinting towards TSW 6. But the report was about TSW 4, so it was probably TSW 5 that we're talking about. TSD says AI trains are magic. AWS doesn't even stop them. Yeah, not much does. Emergency brake doesn't help. AI trains cheat. Delete the train. Well, you can't because you're not in the map. Gas Rogan calls being abducted by an NS driver and a bad guy and the driver in disguise. Could be. Bad guy says stop motion video just for the fan. We could. There's a windmill. Try that. There we go. Let's go. Let's do it. Oh, you can't get up that high. There we go. Oh, get out the trees. Yeah, that's as high as I can actually get. Focally point. Has to be done, doesn't it? Just because you can. It's silly. We're don't think I can delete the train, because... Oh, maybe I can. Move train. Well, let's see what happens. That was predictable. Deleted the world. Anyway, I think that'll be it for tonight. It is time to go to bed. I have to get up pretty early tomorrow. And yeah, look, it's been fun showing this off. The route is not my kind of cup of tea. I like the scenery. I do like the trains, but I like a more hectic pace commuter type of thing. So would I go out and buy this? No, but only because it's not for me. If you like a long distance route and you like these trains and you like the way it looks, then yeah, give it a crack and see what you think about it. See what goes on. And let me know what you think, because, yeah, good stuff. Anyway, I'm stuck in the game too. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill it. That's all right. That'll be it for tonight. So thank you very much for joining in. As always, I appreciate the chat. I enjoy trying to keep up with you guys. It gets harder and harder as we go and more people join in, and it's cool that more people join in, which is excellent. Anyway, have fun, folks, and I'll actually be back tomorrow night. It won't be Train Sim World, and we'll see what it is. The day before the VR thing releases, I will put up some videos because it simply isn't possible to do a good stream of that thing. I'll show off that game. I will talk more about it then when I'm allowed to. And some of you are going to love it and some of you are going to hate it. And I'm not going to tell you why. So, FOMO, you'll just have to wait. All right. Have fun, folks. See you later. Bye. Oh, bad guy. I need more caps.